Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to ATM Spellbound. I just realized my FOV had reset, so I did fix that. Everything feels a lot more pushed in now all of a sudden. Because I think it was whenever I updated maybe, but it reset my FOV to where speed, swings it out. And it just dawned on me a lot of times. I don't notice it, but I'm like, after I change it back, I'm like, man, everything's all squished together. Squished back in now. But anyways, I have been out doing the very important task of collecting flowers. Because I was out of Sarah Blossom, which is fine. We're actually going to be setting up some automation for that, probably in the next episode or the episode after-ish. A few episodes that we do have coming up, just as kind of a heads up, we do have... we're going to pop down to the farms for an episode and spend a little bit of time down there doing some setup and some automation. We are also going to be probably doing our Psi and Forbidden Arcanus episode. And then we are going to be doing a kind of a final character development sort of episode like we do periodically, and use some of the mods that we've got to kind of push our character a little bit further. Because we've gotten access to like Astral Sorcery, and we'll have access to Mana and Artifice and some other things. So we'll do kind of our final character push, because I think that's the last mods that that have some stuff that'll really kind of push our build a bit. But anyways, let's head home, and let's pop up to the Mana and Artifice building. Now, I did hit Magic level 45. It did take a bit longer. I actually don't know if I wrote it in range. Awesome. So we've got range wrote it in, but I have to get speed, which is fine, because I did it with divination, and all I did was I put something on my mouse, and I walked away for a bit and came back, and I was level 45, so yay. But anyways, we are going to start off by picking up here, because we do need to finish up reaching tier 4. And right now we do need to finish 4 additional tasks. Now, we are going to craft a spell with complexity 55 or more for starters. So let's take a look here. Ideally, we would get something with different, totally different stuff that we haven't wrote it in. So at this point, let's do a projectile spell, because we haven't done a projectile yet. We don't have that wrote it in. And let's go with, ideally, something that we can level and use. Crystallize is good too if you need a way to move mobs. Of course, we don't need that. Honestly, I'm probably going to do... I wonder if I can do, like, a projectile Briarthorn barrier. Ideally, you would want this on self, but... let's see. Delay. We did get range fully upgraded. This is a complexity of 30. But let's do, like, a duration. Let's do magnitude, because... Well, we don't have... I think that's tier 4. And then let's do delay. Because you can level these, even if I don't put points into these, I'll still get experience towards roading them, which is quite good. This is duration, and this is delay. Yeah, let's go ahead and bump up these, just to where we can get it up to the 55. There we go, 55 complexity. Can we go all the way? All the way to the delay. That's actually not a good idea, though. We don't actually want delay. So we'll go with that. And that should be good. I'm assuming that we're going to be able to get experience off of this, even though it's going to be like a spell that makes no sense whatsoever. Let's go ahead and craft that and get that going. And we're going to have to get an arcane rune and a defense rune. I think that's all the runes. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's grab out 2 of these. And let's take a look at the defense rune like that. We'll go ahead and throw this in, and we're going to get this crafted up. Like that for the top of it. Go down by 2. Basically making like a chest plate. There we go. There is our defense. And then we need the arcane, which is this one. This one's kind of wild. But we're going to start off with the middle lines that go through. And remember, at this point now, if we smelt, say, rune patterns to make more, we double them. Pretty much anything, like I mentioned last episode, pretty much anything we will now double. For this, it's kind of best just to break it down into small portions, and that way you can easily finish it off. There we go. Okay, so we got those two, and then we are going to have to... let's go ahead and just make all these. And I did finish it making out the rune rituals. So, alright, there we go. Okay, let's see if this is done. We're going to grab that, and we're going to go ahead and set it up. Let me grab Purified Ventium. We'll activate that. Now, the big question is, do we have Tarma Root? We have one. Okay. I'm going to have to get some more of that for sure, but... Okay, and then I'm going to need the Blaze Powder, Snowball, and the Minor Mystic Focus. Is it one of each? No, 2 Blaze Powder. Let's go ahead and just set all this stuff out. Just a big assortment of assorted junk. That should be everything laid out at this point. So, let's go ahead. Activate. Oh yeah, we need the Mote of Earth. Okay. Let's grab out everything. Activate this. Oh, this is so nice. It really, it's definitely worth it. If you're going to do Mana and Artifice, just any little thing that cuts down your time. And you know, and it's mainly because there's just so much just stuff. Nothing all that hard to get. There's just so much stuff that you need for making the spells. So, you know, these boxes and stuff that just help us make those motes a little bit faster is definitely worth it. Now, I would never set up anything for, like, say, making spells themselves, because you just don't... You make spells one time and then you move on. There are certain materials that are pretty consistently used throughout all your spells, but it's not always the case, because it's what the materials it takes. It's going to be based on, you know, if it's a projectile, it's going to be different than a self spell. If it's fire damage, it's going to be different than lightning damage, and, you know, there's a lot of variation there, so a little bit harder to plan for that. I can actually barely see. Like, look at that. That's where the mote goes. Barely see it. These motes, they don't show up, you know. Like, I want to change everything to the graders. There we go. We're going to activate that. It might be actually a little bit hard to draw in this room. As long as we... It's a little bit awkward to aim, because I covered the walls and trapdoors. Probably if I stand here, it actually... It's trying to click on the pedestals, those. I do not build for convenience whatsoever. Because this is actually a very, very inconvenient setup that we've got. But, I like it. Okay, so we're going to call this... Let's call this Junk Briarthorn. And then... Let's grab ourselves... that'll be good. We'll go ahead and save that. Now, if I cast this, am I getting road experience? We're going to find out. We are getting road experience. Delay, projectile, Briarthorn barrier, duration, all that stuff's coming up as road. That is perfect. Or towards road. Okay, and we did get credit for crafting a spell with complexity 55 or more, which is wonderful. Okay, so they want us to craft an artifact from our faction at the Mana Weaving Altar. We'll go ahead and craft the Trickery Bracelet. This right here. Mode of Air for that. Mundane Bracelet. Means we're going to have to make a bracelet pattern. That's fine. Oh, which I should have went here. And if you make a mistake, just take your rune plate, toss it in the trash can, start again. And then we just got to hammer this out. And I'm going to go ahead and make 4 of these. Might as well just use them up. Whoops. Oh, I hate whenever that happens, because you got to, like, reorganize everything. Okay, so our 4 mundane bracelets. I'm going to go ahead and toss one of those into there. Now, technically, we do have this Mode of Air. You know, because we crafted it for the Fae Covenant. And, of course, she didn't consume it. However, I'm not going to use that, because otherwise I'm going to have to end up turning around and making another one here in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and just make 1. You know, I don't know. I might go through and change the amounts that it sends over to the exact amounts, but... I don't know, I just did it as like a number. But I guess there's not really any benefit to not having it be the exact amount, so I don't know. May change it over. So it just keeps the recipe and we just go across the board, grab everything and lay it out real quick, and then we don't have to put everything away. So I might do that between episodes. Like, whenever I first set it up, I had it in my head like, well, maybe I'm crafting multiples of these. But if I craft multiple, I can just run back over to the chest, you know. And generally, I'm not crafting multiple motes at the same time, so it might be worth it. Okay, so there's that. And then, it's a lot of shapes. No, that's not... I don't know. After those lines were added, I think the detection's actually worse. Because, like, that wasn't even remotely a line. Nor that. Oh my gosh. Diamond is like an impossible shape now. It either thinks it's circles or slashes. And it only gets worse because you unlock new shapes as you progress. No. Let's do big shapes. Oh my gosh. Big shapes. We're getting closer maybe. No, that's not. Oh my god. Because I think it looks too for like where you start out. Now we know how to draw a diamond though. Apparently if I start and try to make a square there. Okay, there we go. And then we just need a circle. A simple shape. Alright. After like messing around with that for quite a few minutes. There we go. There's our bracelet of trickery. So what we can do, hold right click. It's going to pull mana up at the top left. It's going to be pulling mana from us to fill the bracelet up. Now out of curiosity. Oh, we do not have a bracelet. Okay, so that's perfect. What all options are there for bracelets in this pack? Bracelet of Antidote. Which, yeah, maybe. Ember Glow. Eldrin Power. Trickery. And Bracelet of the Sea. A Bracelet of Trickery could actually be good. What it does is if we hold shift, we become stealthy. But Bracelet of Trickery, if we hold shift, we can actually sneak up on enemies. And of course we do have invisibility too. So for example, let's pop over to the overworld. Maybe there'll be something for us to do battle with. Is it night by chance? Alright, so if we sneak up on this spider and we hit it unarmed, you can see we have like extreme knockback. Punch the creeper. Boom! Now what do they actually, how close do they actually notice us from? Okay, if I walk right on top of them, so Shadow Step is still taking effect. I don't want it. Yeah, and that only works if we have shift held. Who's got the backpack on? Driving me insane. Okay, well let's pop back home. Not a terribly useful bracelet, but we can hold shift and be really, really stealthy if we so desire. So, not a whole lot of great options for bracelets, of course, but okay. So now, if we take a look, we have done all of that. We need two more things, though. We need to do a Tier 3 Ritual and the Sanctum Invocation, because that's actually going to be two birds with one stone. We get the Tier 3 Ritual and the Sanctum Invocation Ritual. Of course, we do have to complete the structure, but that's fine. Sanctum Invocation, it's realistic. It's not, like, super terribly useful. The reason being, it boosts damage and buff duration in a given area, which is cool. But generally in modded, you just don't hang out somewhere and cast spells a lot, you know, in one centralized location, unless you're just trying to level. So, but we're going to do it just for fun, just so we've got a sanctum, I guess, and we can have the little structure set up, because it's alright. Alright, so for our Sanctum Invocation, let's go ahead and pin this. We're going to need a 9x9, but it's kind of a star shape, so I'm thinking we could set it up right up here. which would be great. Let's grab our chalk. Now, I may have to bring the land out, but then I can kind of tear things down, shape it up a little bit better as I do the courtyard. But I think I want it raised right up in here. So let's go ahead. We're going to put in our chalk. Because what's going to happen, it's going to spawn us a... Oh, this worked out perfectly. It's going to spawn us a... basically like a circle of power item, or block. And then we have to build a structure around it to give it effect. Now, as I mentioned before, they're not like crazy terribly useful for most cases. I think if you have an area where you're like manually killing mobs, maybe if you're using spells to do it. But I think for the most part, it's probably not something that we're going to see a whole lot of use out of, realistically. But let's go ahead. We're going to need a few moats for this. There's our moat of air, and we just kind of have to make the rounds at this point. Basically all but one of the moats. But yeah, I think I'll cut down how much items it's sending to where it's a little bit more exact between episodes. And I don't know, there's really no point in my head. Last episode, of course, it was late for me, and I was a little bit crazy. I'd been building for too long, but I was like, well, I might want to, you know, do them multiple times or something, but it's the next day for me, you know, like I've slept since then. Okay, we've got the moats that we need. So let's pop over. And let me go ahead and grab our purified Ventium as well. Pop down to here. And this is basically just the first step that we're doing here. Alright, let's lay out our moats. These things are like near invisible. Even out here, like, you can barely see them. And we'll go ahead and activate that. And this is going to be our Sanctum Invocation, which is going to give us the Sanctum Invocation. Well, it's going to give us the Tier 3 ritual for just doing it. And then once we build the Sanctum, then that's going to count for our final step for this tier. So, it's actually a really good end to the tier. Alright, so that is our Sanctum block. And now we just have to build out the multi-block. So, what we're going to do... Oops, wrong book. And you can click that to get some ghost images. We're going to do that in just a moment, but we're going to get the items together first and foremost. Let's see. Sanctum Invocation. Let me go ahead and take this off. Now you need to find the material list for your faction. We're going to be going Fey Quartz Sanctum. And let's go ahead and pin that. Okay. So we're going to need a bunch of different tulips, which I do not have. Okay, so we're going to have to pop over and get those. And oak leaves, lily of the valley, glowstone. As for the oak wood, we'll go ahead and get that. And we need runic lights. Okay, I think we've got everything except for the leaves and the flowers, the lilies. Which actually I can make lilies. So if we don't find some, then we can just make them. But let's pop through. I've got to go get oak leaves real quick. Which, worst comes to worst, I can grow oaks. Of course, I can't grow them in the blue skies, but I think we can actually probably get them pretty easily. Yeah, just around here. That tree right there, that's our ticket. Okay, so now we just need the lilies. Or the tulips, I mean. And it just so happens we're next to a little tulip field here. Okay, that actually worked out. We were going to make them with Botania, but this will be... And actually, I think Alchemy Table can make them... No, it can't. But we can do it with Botania, so... I'm going to be doing a lot of flower collecting. Well, actually, no, not so much. If I wait to do the interiors for just a little bit and do the garden first, we won't have to worry about flowers. And what we're going to do at this point, let's right-click that. And it's going to give us a little structure that we have to build out. And you know, the ghost blocks in like multi-block visualization, I never am all that crazy about them. Because I find it really hard to see anything. Like the way it kind of layers over, like it layers through. Instead of it just being like, I shouldn't be able to see it through a physical block. You know what I mean? So I never actually like the ghost. Oh, we are going to have to build this out just mildly. but that's fine. Okay, so let's take our runic lights. We're going to set these up. And these things look pretty good, so having them be like somewhere here that's kind of visible actually kind of works. And the fake Hort one actually is one of my favorites as far as the way that it looks. But all of them do look pretty good. And we'll just go ahead and build this out just a little bit so that we can get everything on this. This will all get covered with grass, and then we'll shape it up just a little bit. Alright, I think that's all of that. Then we're going to go ahead, add in our chalk lines. There we go. And now it's going to move up a layer. And then we're going to start building basically the tree part. That's why I like the Fae one. It works great. And, you know, we got this courtyard. We need to fill it with some things. You know, on ATM 6, I don't think we ever did the Sanctum. Like Astral, I never used the Ghost Block feature because it's honestly harder to build, I think, with the Ghost Block. And something like this, you almost have to have it, you know, because there's just so much that goes into it. But I do try to avoid them where I can. But I figure this way we can level up Mana and Artifice, plus make a nice looking tree that's going to kind of tower over the mausoleum area, and it's going to add a bit to our courtyard. And here we go, very last block. Boom! That is now complete, and that is our Sanctum. And we have now gained enough experience to advance in tier. It takes a second, but and let's go ahead and clear the pinned recipe. Do it through there, but alright, now while we're here, we have Allied Sanctum for a little bit. Like I said, it's going to increase our damage and stuff. Not that big of a deal for us. And then I'm going to be trimming up this hill, because this is going to get cut away from the fence a little bit, and then we're going to have this tree kind of sitting basically up on a hill by itself. Could always do like a little seat or something, you know, up here as well. Now, I might put a teleport down to that with our other warp plate, but we'll see. Because I guess it could be kind of convenient if we want to go to our Sanctum. But now if we take a look, we need to do the Ritual of the Fairy Quartz. Once again, then we'll have to do it one more time at the very end once we go to tier 5. And of course, we're going to have to make another mote of air and a mote of water before we do that. And I might... Oops. Now, I think we got enough durability on our chalk, so we can wait on that. These little mote areas, they're paying off so much this episode, I feel like. Like Sanctum Invocation, just it taking 5 motes, that is a absolute pain if you don't have areas set up. And ours are all pretty convenient to go to, so. But I probably will cut down on the amount of items that it's sending, because it's too much. And we will just pop down and draw this out real quick, in the same spot as last time. Like I said, we could do metal runes for this, but it's just not something that we use that much. Like, after this, we're going to use it one other time, and that's going to be it. You know, so it's not a big deal just to draw this one out. I definitely wouldn't plan, like, a really permanent spot. But you could always do the metal runes if you want to save just a little bit of time there. Go ahead and activate that. Let's grab... Oh, I made a mote of earth instead of air, and I don't know why I did that. Okay, one second. Not a big deal, because that'll wait for us. But I need to make a mote of air, because I used mine. I don't know why I was thinking earth. But there we go. There is our mote of air. Okay. And then we just have to draw out the shapes for this one. Summon the fairy again. And then we'll be at tier 4. There's our fairy queen. Click her with our mote. And she's going to bump us up to a tier 4. Now let's take a look in our Oculus. We have to complete 9 of 11 tasks. Kill the Ender Dragon. Obtain Dragon's Breath. We've done those. We do have to reach the end, and we need to get an Elytra. For sure. Because we don't have one at the moment. Craft a spell with complexity 75 or more. Craft a construct of obsidian. Transitory tile. Cast a tier 4 cantrip. Actually, a lot of these things are going to be fairly easy. If we take a look at our tier 4 cantrips, Oh, faction-specific grimoire. Okay. Do we want to... Yeah, let's do that, actually. So it's going to be Hourglass and Slash. That. There we go. And we got the Tome of Shifting Seasons, the Fey Court faction grimoire, which just looks a bit nicer. It's got all of our spells already in there, and at this point we can take our old grimoire and just toss it. This one just looks nicer. I don't believe that it has any other impact other than just looking nicer, though. And of course, at this point we can get experience again. We should have gotten credit for that. That's tier 4 cantrip. Okay, and we need to craft a spell with complexity 75 or more. Now, at tier 4 you get access to a lot of really good... Man, that's a good looking book, right? I love that. But at this point we get access to a lot of new stuff. So we're going to go with... we've done projectile. Let's get a... I don't think we've wrote it in bolt yet. We don't get any like class-specific spells at this level. The other ones do, but we get so many up front with Decoy, Confuse, and Briarthorn Barrier. So we don't get any new ones here, but there is a lot of good tier 4 spells. So it would be a bolt. But I wish there was more than just delay there. And that's only a complexity of 30. Whereas Wither has magnitude. Yeah, let's go with Wither, because I do want to get magnitude unlocked. So let's take the magnitude modifier. Well, in that case, what if we did a wave? And had this wave do height and width? Yeah, let's actually do a wave with Wither. We can actually drop the magnitude for now, but... and let's have it do radius. Because that way we can do height and width and we can get these rotated in. And basically we just conjure a big wave of like Wither effect. So let's go ahead, bump that up, and then we'll bump up the magnitude a bit. Ooh, I can actually put it up to a 5 width, 3 high wave of Wither. So that'll be good. Yeah, let's make that. That's going to be fun. It's going to be, looks like, not terribly expensive. But I'm going to have to make a few runes for this. And I'm going to have to get some tube coral. But give me a second. I'm going to get this stuff made up because I've got to make Rune of Water, Rune of Earth, and Marking runes. So I'll be back here in just a moment. Alright, I've got most everything put together at this point. Let me go ahead and update this. The only thing we have to get is the tube coral. We need another Desert Nova. Or Tarmic root, I mean. And we need the higher tier Mystic Focus. Okay, so for this we just need Diamond, Purified Ventium, and the lesser Mystic Focus. I'm going to go ahead and make 10 of these. There we go, finally. Alright, there we go, and... Bing, 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 bing. There we go, we got 10 of those. Alright, now the rest of this should be pretty quick. For this, do we need... It's showing pink coral, but I think it's any kind, yeah, any kind of just coral. Alright. So we'll just go Far Taiga. I'll tell you what, let's actually read the entry, because that's something we didn't do. Briarthorn Barrier. Yeah, okay, so it's a little bit of bonus armor, and it gives us a Thorns effect. So it's just more damage. Now, right now it's on a projectile spell. It's not going to be. We're just getting things rotated in, of course. I tend to like just going for as much rote as we can, and then just doing all of our spells through rote. I've gone a little bit off track here. Got a little bit of lag. How dare you open the map? This will be a really good chance to use our break spell since it is Silk Touch. That should be, yeah, it's getting us lots of nice coral. Okay, so there's that, and then we're going to have to get some Tarmic root. Alright, so right down here I can already spot some. And of course, since we chose a faction, those guys will be aggressive to us, but most things can't see us. So back up to here, let's go ahead, lay out the last few things we've got. I think that's it, actually. There we go. We'll go ahead and activate. And we'll do our shapes. There we go. There is our new spell, our Wither Wave spell. Okay, so let's call this Wither Wave. We'll do that. Sounds good. So if we cast this, you're going to see it kind of shoots out this wave of Wither. Are we getting rote experience for this? We are. We're getting Wave and Wither. So we can cast this. And the longer we hold it, you can see it constantly drains mana. Because if we just, like, for example, cast it, and it kind of dissipates real quick. But if we hold it, it's going to go out further. And it's going to make a pretty strong Wither effect. We should actually try it. So let's go ahead. Well, when he shot me, it did a lot of damage. There we go. It seems like it's pretty decent. I mean, it's not something that we probably use. Like I said, when they hit us, they almost insta-kill themselves. So it's really not that effective, you know. But it does meet the criteria that we needed to hit. So, but of course, we're going to be roting in range and magnitude as we cast this. And it's something that I can stick something on my mouse and just let it sit here and just do this over and over again. Okay, now at this point, we need to go basically get an Elytra. And that's going to get two things out of the way for us, for going to the end and going to get an Elytra. So let's step through. And this is one of the projects I would really like to do this weekend, but we'll see. Maybe. Just get this area decorated out. Let's go ahead and pop to the end. We are going to grab this. Let me dump all this. And we're going to be looking for an end Highlands, I guess. See if we can find one of those. And as we fly out, I'm just going to be casting. Duration has become rote. Awesome. I'm just hoping that we can find an end fortress pretty quick. Now, unfortunately, the end Highlands here is really, really small, but look at these flowers. We're actually going to be coming here to collect a lot of flowers, but it might be worth it since I'm already here. Let me go ahead and just clip off a bunch of these. That gives us end lotus seeds. Trust me, Enderman, you don't want to hit me. I don't know how much use the Nature's Compass is going to be if the Highlands that spawn are like crazy small like this. Because I think we're going to need a decent sized Highlands. Oh, I like this ether stone. Oddity cactus. Okay, we'll take some. But these are painted mountains, but maybe this is Highlands. Oh, what's this? In-stone brick pyramids. This is Shattered Desert Isles. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, we leveled. Oh, there's a door. Uh-huh. Mossy glowstream fur. Oh, we can take that too. Flavolite lantern. Please have an elytra. Nope. A lot of barrels. But I don't think there's any treasure in here. That's okay. Oh, wow. The end is just so pretty. Like, I'm almost tempted to, like, next time we have the better end and biomes you go and Quark in a pack, I think I'm just going to, like, just rush to the end and just live in the end, maybe. Now, of course, we did run into a lot of issues where not living in the overworld was kind of slightly problematic, but it's fine. You know, we worked around it. And in modded, it's not like you really have to grow trees. We can grow blue skies trees and then, of course, use alchemy table to change them over, but we've also just got wood essence. Oh, we got wither roaded in. Oh, we do have an end city map. That, because I'm not finding any right now. Let's see. We need to be going down in this direction. I don't know how far we're going to have to go. Potentially a ways, but we'll head for it. Find out. Because I'm not having any luck. The Highlands, they're little bitty patchy things. And we had this. I thought we got some end maps. We got some end stronghold maps and some end city maps. So we'll head over to the end city. Because I'm not having much luck. Oh, this is pretty. Aurora Crystals. Let's take a few of these. I don't know if I'll do anything with them, but... Now, Better End does add a little bit of content. We're going to be getting into that at some point here soon. Here's this. Luckily, this isn't the one that we were looking for, but... Oh, this is the first time we've ever been to an End City on here. We're not going to get an elytra out of this, but we can still take a peek. See what we got in here. And snag a few things while we're here. Nope, we got a diamond backpack. Unfortunately, it didn't have an elytra dragon head area, so... Oh, here we go. Perfect. Let's pop over. Let's grab our dragon head. Oh, come on, you. And let's go get our elytra. What do we got? Ethereum ore. Awesome. Well, let's grab our elytra. Boom, there we go. Expand your mind by studying the structure of an elytra. Find the elytra. Okay. Great. Now, I will still probably end up needing to get some more of these. I can't remember, though. Can we actually craft, yeah, with dragon scales from Quark? Though I don't know. We've only killed the dragon, I think, one time, so we'll have to try that out. But at least we found one. Well, let's take a look. We got that. So we're 2/3 of the way through, and then we are going to be hitting magic level 60, which means we only need to basically do two things. Well, this is actually a good spot to end out. I know it's about wrapping up point anyways. We're going to have to get into, like for the brimstone, we're going to have to get into making the greater moats, which is going to be the wellspring stuff. So we'll be able to get into that come next episode, doing the Eldrin Altar, which we're not going to be doing the next episode directly after this one. You know, I want to take a little bit of a break from Mana and Artifice at this point. I will be getting up to level 60. I might even go ahead and road in a few more spells. But then come next episode, we'll get into doing some Wellspring Energy, moving on to Tier 5. We'll get into the Book of Rote, because by then we should have enough spells roted in. And we'll have access to kind of all the spells that we can actually start making use of. A few select spells that will kind of come in handy. Briarthorn Armor actually will be kind of useful for us, but I think I don't know if it's really, I think it's going to be like such a minute impact probably with everything that we've got going on that it probably won't be crazy noticeable, but we'll see. So but anyways, we're going to end out this episode here, and then here in like a couple episodes we'll pick back up with Mana and Artifice. So But I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.